Yeah, welcome back to Deadlines and Detours. I'm Matt. Just before we start, just want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed. We just hit 500 subscribers. We've only been live for a couple of weeks. It's huge, way beyond anything I expected. So thank you. Please comment in the comment sections below. If there's anything you'd like to see me talk about or discuss, it'd be really good. Today's a bit different. I was with Chelsea Austin, events marketing coordinator at Earl Kendrick. This was quite a strange one because actually we did it face to face. She lives locally, which is really nice. So we got her in the studio and we had a really good chat. Well, we normally discuss digital transformation and things. This one's more of a story. This one's more of someone going from wanting to be in their head a midwife in training to running huge events and actually being multi-award winning in her area for events and marketing. So really exciting piece. We talk about how she's found podcasts, Deadlines Detours being one of those, and then really just how she uses that as a kind of a main training kind of moving forward. It helps her with growth. It helps her learn more. We also get into the caper of the magnets and the award. Really funny story. Just really, really lovely to hear. Such a wonderful story with a fantastic ending. One day I'll make a film, I'm sure. And of course, we touch on AI and how it's reshaping webinars, how it can actually help with events, and then authenticity on LinkedIn and how actually that authenticity is really what makes a difference rather than just business talk and AI generated content, which is very much a reoccurring thing that we see here. And then we also touch on some of the work that she does with some of the schools, with career days, enhancing their view and their understanding on surveying. Surveying is cool, I'm told that. So let's dig in and let's go.
It's like we're in a book club, isn't it?
I know. Let me just memorise that.
No stress.
Okay.
It's a stressless environment.
Yeah.
Good.
Unless he decides to jump down.
There is a huge spider in the corner.
It's like a Cheshire cat, just trying to talk to anybody on the train. Yes, I won an award. Surveying is really cool.
You should get badges made.
Carnage.
Carnage. There you go. Love that. Good.
Unless he decides to jump down.
Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Good. Just for anyone who's just wondering, there is a huge spider in the corner. So if we have to stop and reconvene, then we will do that. Welcome, Chelsea.
Thanks.
This is really good.
Me.
Yeah, no, this is really good. This is the first time we've done this in the studio face to face. It's always normally on Teams. So this is definitely going to be a bit of a different kind of episode, but we'll run through exactly the same as we always do. I've got a load of questions for you. You can choose whether to answer those, divert those. It's Deadlines and Detours. So you can detour as much as you want. Let's just have a chat. So I think anyone who doesn't know you, just introduce yourself.
Yes. So hi, I'm Chelsea. I work as an events and marketing coordinator at Earl Kendrick. Earl Kendrick is a surveying company in London. And actually, God, if you'd asked me 3 years ago and said, what would you be doing? I wouldn't have said that I would be doing the job I'm in. But yeah, it's fun, completely different.
Yeah.
I didn't even think you could travel to work in London when you lived in Torquay.
Well, no, this is the thing. I mean, okay, so I guess let's open up those sort of questions. When you say you didn't think you'd be doing this 3 years ago, what were you doing 3 years ago?
So I was I really wanted to be a midwife.
Yeah.
I did sort of my nursing, really liked the administration side of it. So then sort of took an interest in that side of it. So I was working at a local school. So that was when I really thought actually the administration side, organising side of it was something that I really enjoyed. But obviously I was introduced to this job by a very dear friend.
Hello.
And obviously didn't know what it would bring. Yeah. But no, it's been eventful, fun, but obviously I live here. I didn't know how it would work.
Yeah,
but it does.
No, definitely. Definitely. Well, one thing I know about you, in the times that we know, you love a list, you love sorting things, you love getting things done. It just felt a natural sort of place to be. And you were doing that role at the school, really. Essentially, it was kind of in that kind of more administration, sort of sorting everything out. But as you always do, you didn't just take that role, you probably helped with a million other different things. It was just a kind of a natural progression. So I guess then I know what you do, but if I was at a bar, maybe you drink, once in a while, and we're at a bar and I say, what do you do? How would you describe someone, what you do? and what necessarily you do there at EK.
Yeah, I help with strategy. So whether that's events, marketing, I help with social media content, site edits, behind the scenes event management, organising invitations to organising the catering, press releases, or different divisions within the company. Obviously, we have multiple sort of entities, so that requires different views, I suppose. So it's just making sure that we're in line.
It's complex, isn't it? I certainly know that EK has many facets. So it's not just surveying, it's many things. And I guess each one of those has a different type of event or a different type of audience and things that go. So that I imagine is just sort of chaos all the time. So essentially it's marketing and it's events. I know you're very prolific on social media around the sort of the LinkedIn and sort of emails that go in and out, which kind of does take me to, I was stalking you on LinkedIn. I stalk everyone on LinkedIn. I don't know if stalking's the right word. I might stop saying stalking. I'd say I was just looking on LinkedIn, and you were sort of touching about the podcast era, which brings nicely to this. It's the start of your podcast era. I heard that you listened to a wicked one called Deadlines Detours, but is there any other podcasts that you're sort of looking to at the moment, and why and what you sort of taking away from those?
Podcasts just seem to be the new exciting thing at the minute, which is great.
I think so.
Yeah, and I work from home and I work in complete silence. I don't listen to music. I can't have the telly on. I just don't like distractions. I can be easily distracted. But again, obviously it can be a bit lonely. So I thought, right, come on, let's listen to somebody. Obviously saw that you had started this exciting podcast, and I listened to your first episode and I loved it. And then the same week, I also listened to Behind Four Walls to support my colleague.
What's that?
So that is podcast in the property industry. It follows lots of different people and how they work.
So is it sort of different stories?
Yeah. So,
is it sort of story based then? So is it like they'll tell you this what happened, or is it more sort of like tactical how to do stuff?
I've only listened to a few. So my colleague Zoe, and she was talking on sort of lone working and why she thinks sort of career fairs are really important and sort of supporting, people, younger children coming up. So and obviously I wanted to support her, so I listened to hers. Obviously listened to yours, but I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just obsessed with podcasts, and I've been listening to them for years and thinking it's just the way I like to consume media. It's just in your head. I travel a lot, as you do, going up to London and stuff, and on that commute from the West Country is it's quite quick because actually we're on a decent line, but even still it's a few hours. And if you can get a seat. I saw someone the other day sat on the floor, and I walked in. Do you see the people sat on the floor sometimes by the toilets? And I walked in and I think there's chairs here, and you've decided to sit on the floor. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so that's good. So we talked about what you do in a bit. We also talked about the complexities of and just that sort of industry. When you're planning events, when you're doing those events, you've got multiple different things happening, different people, different stakeholders. How do you make sure that everyone is on board? How do you get an event? I can't even imagine trying to get an event live.
I think it's the smaller details that take the most time, which is what I sort of worry about the most. Normally with events, obviously everything runs smoothly. You're making sure that you've got the venue sorted. Most importantly, people are going to attend, so you've got an invitation to to send out. But it's making sure that everybody's got the same vision, I suppose, and what's expected. And people like to have a nice time when they go to an event, and it should just be less work. My view is, they've worked all day, you're going to host an event, you want to make it fun, then work all day and then have like an hour presentation where you've got to sit through. People like the networking side of it is more. Yeah,
I do. I think any event that I've been to, I maybe scroll down through the thing. I see one speaker and I think, I need to go and see this person. But largely it's about, I haven't seen that guy for ages, that guy. And it's that networking thing and the swag. I like to walk through. Here's the thing then. Is there a particular bit of merch that just currently is, this is the one that everyone's like, what's ultimate merch?
We had candles.
Nice.
They were, everybody wanted the candles. But now it seems to be mints and hand sanitizer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was always a bit a bit of a, I like the USB sticks, but they seem to have stopped doing those.
Yeah.
Pens, I'm very fussy about, you know, like I
Yeah.
don't want a cheap pen, but if it's a nice sort of one with a click and a
Yeah.
sort of thing, that's
Everybody
quite
does
nice.
a pen. Everybody does pen with a notebook, don't they? Which are great. Obviously, they're really useful. Yeah.
I remember doing a couple of events once and we had some really fancy umbrellas that were hidden back.
Yeah.
They're the nice.
We've
they're
got
the-
some of them,
Have
really
you?
big golf
Okay,
umbrellas.
that's
Yeah.
good. Well, anyone who's going to the next EK event to speak
Yeah.
to a classic for that. So yeah, so you said about like getting everyone on board, but you did touch on around people actually going. What do you do in a situation where you go, okay, well, we've got a great event here. We think it's a good event. And do you always get people going, yeah, we'll come? Or do you ever get an event that you think, oh, this was a good one, but for some reason people are just not interested in this one? Or does that not really happen?
It does happen.
Yeah.
It happens like more than you think. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it comes down to. I can only imagine people's time. And if you've got a longer event,
Yeah.
people are less likely to be able to take time out of their day.
Mm.
Everybody's extremely busy. It
Yeah.
can also be down to location. So we're trying to sort of showcase an event that's happening at the end of September,
Right.
but because of where it is, we're not getting as many people as we thought it would be, even though the topic will be great. You know, people aren't, it's based in Bristol. So we're
Okay.
trying to get more people, but we just can't seem to get the numbers. But then like London events, you know, we're,
Assuming they're just packed. Are
yeah,
they?
all the time.
Yeah.
And you do get, 10 sort of % drop out on
Yeah.
the day, and that
Yeah.
can't be helped. You can
No.
try and
No,
give
I
as
must-
many
I must be honest. I
reminders.
think if you invite me to an event in London, I'll be there because it's easy. I know where it
Yeah,
is,
of
and I know
course.
I'm in town, so I can do other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, those sort of the smaller cities are a bit. You're just there for that one thing, I guess. When you're in central London, you can go, well, I'll do the event and then I'll pop and see
Yeah.
X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z sort of thing. So yeah, okay, that's quite good. Then have you had? So you've gone to the event. It's been nicely attended and stuff. Have you ever had that experience where you've just kind of gone, either we didn't get the value out of that, or actually it didn't hit? Do you ever get those experiences, or is every event a hit? I don't know.
So we sponsor quite a few events, and we also obviously attend as just sort of delegates. Sometimes we find that probably attending events, you get more out of it because you're less stressed, you're turning up, and you get to speak to everybody.
Yes.
You can leave when you want. You can go and speak and see, whoever you want to. However, when you go to sponsor the events, obviously you're getting there really early, setting everything up. Not everything always goes to plan. So sometimes you're already on a back foot and you are confined to your stand because obviously you can't mingle and go see certain speakers because if somebody comes to see you and you're not there.
So that's quite
fine.
interesting. So you kind of need to be going to the events to actually go, I'm going to meet these people because these are the people I want to see. Because if you're locked at an event, you might see someone over there and think, well, I can't leave the stand and things like that. But for a brand, for an identity and for sort of just ownership, you need to also have that. That's a really tricky sort of situation. I guess when you attend events, do you then kind of also have people out sort of walking the floor as well? Or do you tend to all be behind them?
We would normally sort of take two or three of us. So that if we can get 2-3 people, great, because some people can stay behind, other people can mingle. But there is times where there has only been 1 or 2 of us at certain times of the day, which then makes it a little bit tricky to go and see the speakers that probably you'll find really useful.
Okay.
Got to be in a place at a certain time.
Definitely. Sort of main area where I work is definitely obviously digital and these sort of thing. Are you finding pre-COVID or saying it's COVID, I did a lot of webinars, a lot of those sort of things, those virtual events, and I was called in to do a lot of those because my sort of space. Even then, even when I was running them, I kind of knew they were never going to be the same and they were never going to have the same interest. But what do you find now in your space? Do people still want to attend a physical event? Would people rather attend a webinar or what?
People definitely do prefer to attend in-person events. Nothing better than sort of, a chat with a friend, with a colleague, with a client. But I do just think it comes down to people's time and whether they can commit to the event, I suppose.
Do you guys host webinars at all? Or?
We have done. Yeah, we've done a few online.
What do you find? Do you find that they have as good uptake?
It depends on the subject. People want to support people in the industry, so it won't even be down. If somebody, I suppose, did one on license to alter, so which we have done.
Yeah.
You know, we had a really good uptake, but that's because people can use that. You know, there's a lot of people that would benefit from that.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, other situations where you have, it's not to take them personal. If you don't have low attendance, because people might not, you know, use that information as much as they.
Okay, that's really interesting. I'm going to drift into a bit of LinkedIn now. EK are on LinkedIn, and it's an active place. It's a place where you cement yourself as a business, and you're actively on there as well. What's your kind of experience with LinkedIn? What drove you to that? Do you kind of do you enjoy the posting on LinkedIn? I know you get a lot of traction. I see that you get a lot of traction. One thing, interestingly, I did notice one of your posts the other day, which takes me full circle back to think, is that you did this lovely post and everyone just mentioned about your pen. They just wanted your pen. I thought, well, that's almost an event, isn't it? It's like, anyway, that's really lovely. Where's the swag? Yeah. Where's the swag? What we got here? But you've always been into kind of social media anyway. You sort of with your Instagram and different things. But do you find you enjoy LinkedIn as much? Because it's kind of, is it cool? I think it's cool, but I just wonder whether I think it's cool because I'm a kind of middle-aged man. I just like, is it cool? I see a lot of engagement with it, and I think you guys do as well. But yeah, kind of.
For this role, I just assumed that LinkedIn was for business people, businessmen. You know, like that was what I saw it as. I just saw it as an online CV, I suppose. So I hadn't really used it. Sort of started using it when I started like the role that I'm in. And my sort of difficulty with it is I overshare everything. So I would sometimes I'm probably posting stuff that people don't even care about, more my personal life, you know, but my family, my children are ultimately why I'm working. I do tend to post a little bit about them, but sometimes I do struggle with what I want to write about. But when I do write about it, I think, and then I can get in a really good groove.
It's in the groove, isn't it? Yeah, I find people might really disagree with me here, but I sort of early week, I tend to do sort of more business things. And as the week gets to an end, as we're all sort of desperately getting to the weekend, then I tend to share like a personal thing. And it doesn't have to be here's me sort of doing things, but about actually a bit more vulnerable, a bit more sort of like this is it. And I know you do that. You'll say, oh, it's been a week from hell, or it's been a thing. And I think people need to see that, because in a world which we live in where what's real and what's not, everyone lives these quote unquote perfect lives, but actually saying, you know what, this week's been a bust, you know, it's been a real nightmare. I think it's really helpful for people to actually see that. And I think it certainly does for me, and certainly does when I see people that I respect go, you know what, this week didn't work out as planned. I think actually that's kind of thing. And then you said about LinkedIn being a CV sort of thing. And I think it was that. And you said about on the Jamie podcast, she mentioned that company pages are pretty much just sort of like, they just exist now. They are just, there's a company page. Okay, you can find out a bit of information, but actually what drives content for businesses is people. And I think you could probably say that about any industry, anything. If you talk to the heart, if you talk to Julian, the boss or whatever, and just said, you know, well, why are we doing this? It will be to help people do X, Y, and Z. It's never really to be a big company that makes loads of money. No company has that as their, I mean, might be a couple nowadays, but on the whole, most people set out to do something personally. So then when you think about that, how do you drive business to a company? You drive it through personal engagement and stuff. And if you've got people that want to talk, then absolutely.
Yeah. And some people don't like posting on LinkedIn.
No.
Don't really feel uncomfortable with it, which is fine. You know, it's your own personal brand is the way I see LinkedIn.
Massively. And what do you say when people go, oh no, LinkedIn's not for me?
My husband he started LinkedIn because obviously I said, you need to get on it. It's great.
It's great, yeah.
He gets great sort of traction when he does posts. That's when he does posts, and he just doesn't seem to keep up with it. And it's a real shame because sometimes he's like, oh yeah, brilliant, in the zone, I'm on LinkedIn. And then other times he's like, what's the point? You know?
No, and I get that. And I think and I've been there, and I'm sure you've been there. And it's like, sometimes you look and you think, what am I doing here? I could be doing a million other things, until you realize I've been doing it for ages. Now it's quite natural. Yeah. And you get a load of things, because I've seen his posts and they're really good. They're great photos, really well articulated and stuff. And yeah, absolutely. Like the engagement levels are good. I guess it might be a question that maybe a short spurt actually is quite good, but I guess that consistency still needs to have, because otherwise you get lost, don't you? And it's all algorithms and it's all things. And I see a lot of your posts and a lot of the other people who I'm sort of engaged with a lot of posts because I engage with your posts, so I see more of them. And if you're not on there, then you get lost in a sea of things. So I guess that's a tip for anyone to just maybe think about. It sounds even hard work just talking about, but a content calendar. Like, can I post once a week?
Yeah.
And I imagine you guys have got that.
Yeah. Well, I went to a LinkedIn workshop and heard of Authored Up, which.
Okay. No idea what that is. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's LinkedIn Authored Up or just Authored Up.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of researching and looking into it.
Okay. So what's that?
That's an online calendar, but it shows you what your posts will look like when you post them. So you can sort of type out your posts and like how the headliners do really well, which makes them click. So you can see at what point it then becomes sort of the second and third sentence. So you can.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll get that link from you then. The Authored Up.
I think it's like £15 a month. So yeah, I'm doing a bit of research on, and then it tells you exactly what posts you've got scheduled all in one place, and you can see like a month's view. So that's something that I'm sort of looking at, because I think for our company, for personal as well, it will be.
And is it just LinkedIn or is it?
I think so. I mean, I think you can possibly use it for other platforms, but I haven't.
I'm trying to think about sort of tapping into like some of the other social. LinkedIn is where I live. That's my life sort of thing. And I look at the other ones. Jamie, again, we were talking about TikTok, and I've tried it. I did try it. Put a video up. And then every time I opened the app, it just shouted at me. Sort of like, it's like, I think maybe that's, I might just put a little pin in that one. But Instagram, I think there's a space there. I think Instagram definitely, and I look at the age demographics and stuff, and Instagram tend to be that sort of like 13 to 50. And then you've got your Facebook sort of 50 kind of plus and stuff. But LinkedIn seems to be business, just people working. So I think that's definitely still the place to do. And they've started doing videos. I'm going to try some videos out as well. Maybe we'll try one from here. I'm going to detour a little bit again, looking at some of your things. There's something about a magnet caper, and what I mentioned to you just when we were talking before that spider came and ruined everything, you smiled when I said about magnet caper. So tell me about the magnet caper, Chelsea.
So travelled up to London one morning, and we had to set up for an event the next day. So we were sort of sponsoring International Women's Day by Doyen. And I think me and Zoe, we didn't get there till 9:30 at night. Bearing in mind we'd working all day. The event starts at 8 in the morning. And from our office to the place we had to set up, it was probably about 45 an hour.
Right.
Got there and just about to put up our stand and realised that we had no magnets, and our stand is like a magnet stand, so they have to. So
it's got like a frame, and you have to.
Hardest stand I've ever used.
Okay.
I'm very glad to say that we now have new ones.
Okay, no magnets.
But no magnets, and obviously we couldn't go back to the office and come back because the cricket club was going to be closed.
Right.
Luckily, there was a really lovely stand put up next to us, in Surety. Vince Coleman, his name was, and he still is our biggest lifesaver. He, however, wasn't there, so his stand was all lovely put up. And we sort of looked across and we were like, I bet he's got some spare magnets.
Right.
Obviously his stand is pristine, but on the back he wasn't using the full wraparound. So I think there was about 5-6 spare magnets. So me and Zoe sort of took the executive decision to steal them.
Borrow them maybe.
So obviously panic stations, put it up. There was obviously a couple of gaping holes.
But it was up.
It was fine. But of course, I then didn't sleep all night thinking that we were going to get there in the morning, and this poor man's stand had fallen to pieces.
You sabotaged.
So brought a bottle of wine to give it to him as a present, left that in the Airbnb, totally forgot to bring it in. So obviously we got there in the morning, tail between our legs, like, hi, hope you don't mind. He, however, was amazing and lovely. And the irony is then he actually presented me with my award that evening, and we had a bit of a joke on the stage.
Hilarious. I mean, we can't have that story and not the award bit to say, let's talk about the award then. So yeah, in the industry, I mean, I've never had an award. I'd like an award listening. And
Well,
I'll
I've
make my
never
own
had
award.
an award either.
Tell
so
me
it
about
was
that then.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. I was very kindly nominated by several people sort of in my company, in the industry, for the Unsung Hero Award.
Yeah.
And obviously there was massive competition. There was loads of good people up, and especially in my category, I think there's like 12 people that are up against,
Right.
whereas all the other sort of awards, there was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I thought, there's absolutely no way. I think my name was right at the end as well. Like I'd just been added on by last minute.
I didn't think that puts you where you are in the standing, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So didn't think, it was great to be a part of, but of course people started dwindling as the awards
Oh, was it one of the later ones?
Yeah. One of the later, obviously sort of people, people know people in the industry. Nobody really knew who I was then. Nobody knows who Chelsea is. So obviously everybody was getting really big cheers when their faces were coming up.
Okay. So this is your award and people's faces are coming up and everyone's going, wow.
They do sort of highly commended and then winners.
Okay. Is that participation trophies? Yeah.
Obviously it came to mine and I think I had cheers, but obviously people didn't really know who I was, still.
Oh, they know.
It was great. It was a great recognition. So I came home smiling like a Cheshire cat, just trying to talk to anybody on the train. Yes, I won an award. Obviously, some people don't like talking on the train.
I would do that anyway. I think every conversation about awards. Yeah, no, let me. An amazing story. Did you say magnets? I got an amazing story about that sort of thing. I mean, that must be amazing. So you get your award, you walk up. At what point did you realize that the guy who's given you the award is the guy who you stole his magnets?
Yeah, literally when the award came up to say, Unsung Hero.
Yeah.
And next the Unsung Hero Award. And it sort of says, been sponsored by Insurity. And I thought, oh my goodness, obviously Vince got up on the stage and I didn't really think anything of it because obviously I didn't really think I was going to win. So obviously when I got up on the stage and he kindly gave me my...
That's hilarious. You guys are linked forever. We'll tag him in this when this goes live.
He was very good about it, I must admit.
And it's just those sort of things make work better. And an Unsung Hero Award, I think especially to me, that says that's someone who just gets on, because there's loads of people in business that just tell everyone how great they are all the time and all the things that they're doing, but you're just getting on with it, getting the stuff done. And actually you're not in a category for what would be quote unquote an award. So someone's particularly gone, this person needs to be recognized. And that's amazing. I think that's almost more important than any of the other awards of the day. We'll say it was. It's the most important award. It was the most important award of the day.
Yeah, it was great.
And that doesn't come without hard work. People don't just go into a job and get those sort of things. So I guess that then takes me to around like, how do you advance yourself? Where do you sort of learn and do stuff? I think LinkedIn, I think you said something about online, Udemy online courses.
So I've signed up to Udemy, which is sort of an online platform that start from sort of 1 hour training to long ones, depending on obviously the whatever course you're learning. I like to learn about events, as a beginner, but also advanced. My problem is I worry so much. So
never knew that. No,
about everything, and it's always the little details that worry me the most. And I think because I'm here, all of our equipment, merchandise, banners are in London. It's just making sure that I can, I suppose, coordinate, communicate with everybody that's over there if I'm not attending the event, especially to make sure everything gets to where it needs. So I am yet to find a course on how to deal with worry dealing with events. I think I'm in our company anyway. I think I'm okay, but
I mean, there might not be one for worry about dealing with events, but there's well about worry. Quality of mind. There's of course I'm on with Piers. Hopefully get him on here soon and discuss that. But I think it's that thing that you're constantly looking to learn, sort of thing. I was going to ask you about what would you say to someone just getting into events now, but actually I think that will follow on from the question I was going to say about you don't just work, you also help out when you can. And I know you've done a couple of events that schools? I think I know. Pretend you got one of your kids who are in primary school, and it's just moved now, but at the time it was in primary school, and you got one in secondary school, and I think you've done career days in both of those.
Yeah, Sherwood Valley and Torquay Academy, great school.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're great because they ask people that's in careers to come in and obviously explain it to the children. Some companies they don't necessarily have the resources or necessarily think it's worth going into schools, especially primary schools.
Okay, because I guess they're thinking, well,
they really know what they want to do, but actually it's probably more important going into sort of primary schools than it is secondary schools sometimes.
You can spark something of interest, because I mean, God, I had no idea what I wanted to do from, and I had no idea what now. No, I was going to say, I got no idea now, but I think in primary school, I think to have someone come in and inspire you. Yeah.
So actually, who am I to go in and be like, this is what I do? But it was really cool. So I did sort of Sherwood Valley, me as an events and marketing coordinator, tried to make it as, easy to explain to sort of children from 6 years old up until 11. And actually some children was sort of like, oh, wow. And then that made me sort of think, actually, so I can do this.
Were you talking about property, that space? Or were you talking about events and marketing, or a bit of both?
Primary school, I was asked to go in on my role as events and marketing coordinator, but I obviously just touched base that actually I work for a surveying company and how I can help them in sort of simple terms to try and get children to understand what I'm doing. Surveyors making houses and homes safe, and hotels and schools is how I really simply put it. But obviously with the secondary school that I went to, so you've got children up to the age of 16. Some of them obviously already know what they want to do. Probably knew a lot more than I did.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm trying to pretend I know what surveyors actually do.
This is what I do with my life. I try and pretend I know more than anyone else. Rarely is that ever true. Rarely do I ever know. Hence why I'm doing these sort of things. So so you're trying to say, I know
this is what surveyors do. And I think some people think that architects are surveyors. I'm not sure which way around, but I'm pretty sure architecture goes into surveyors, but completely different job roles. But some architecture seems to be jobs that people know more about than surveying. So obviously we want to try and raise awareness.
Okay.
Surveying is really cool. Hard work.
Surveying is cool.
But,
Okay, you should get badges made with those pens. With surveying is cool. That's the next one. That's the next thing.
Go to fancy events.
You do get to go to fancy events.
People.
You guys are always at a nice event. Yeah, always done up looking good. Did you manage to tell everyone about your award at that time, or did the kids? What did you say? What was that?
Well, I did. Yeah. I have to obviously sneak it in. You can get an award if you do events. You
should have been introduced as award-winning. Chelsea Austin will be today, and that's the only way. If someone says, "Oh, Chelsea, award-winning Chelsea Austin,"
I think I'd won most valued player within my work at one of our companies catch-ups, and of course, like people have the fancy letters after their names. Well, I don't have that, so I made sure people saw me as Chelsea Austin MVP.
MVP. Well, I mean, a minute ago I thought you'd only had one award. I didn't realize you were When I do the intro, I will make sure that I record it as multi-award winning Chelsea Austin. Okay. We've detoured, which is perfect. Which is actually what we should do. So I think we touched on those. Kids, I imagine they find events and marketing interesting. I certainly did when I was younger. I mean, my little stint in sort of marketing I think I still do marketing really with all of this, but that kind of stint into it was, I found it fascinating. I found, because it's fun. Who doesn't want to do an event or something? That's just like an easy sell, right?
You're not just stuck in one place, which, I have been in jobs where you're just stuck in one place, and who doesn't want to go to lovely locations? Yeah.
It's always a positive thing, isn't it? It's always like, so you're not doing funerals, you're doing fun events where people are happy and stuff. So looking ahead into the kind of next 12 months, I certainly always looking forward in sort of that more digital thing. How do you think digital is going to affect your world, whether that's surveying and that side, or events and management? I guess we're going to talk about AI probably and maybe some chat, but what do you think's the sort of the next thing that's going to happen?
I mean, I never knew what ChatGPT was.
Yeah.
I don't even think I can say it.
I wasn't going to correct you.
Till sort of we used it to, just help tweak a couple of things within marketing. Obviously, I now use it in my everyday life, whether it's personal or at work.
Yeah.
But obviously, it will save people so many times if used properly. Invoicing, social media. I mean, obviously, I know so many people say it doesn't sound like certain people, but surely if you're telling it what to say, it's only changing it so it sounds more professional is the way I see it. But
well, it is. I've got the next podcast I'm doing next couple of days actually is talking around that AI in marketing, and everything you said is exactly right there. I think it's the people who just chuck a load of text in and say, write me a thing. That rarely translates. But I think if you can say, here's my idea of what I want, this is my thoughts. AI is really good at putting that structure, isn't it? It's really good at putting that, here's a standard. And then you can go, okay, well, that doesn't really sound like me, but I'm going to take that and then I'm going to turn into something I want to say. I think that's really good. Certainly around surveying and all of the different implications it can have there around, I mean, large data management, the amount of data that you guys must just process all the time. If you're not using AI, then get onto AI now.
It's the time it must save people.
It is the time,
I suppose. Invoicing.
Absolutely. And it will never take it will do 80% of the grunt work. It will do the job of that person who you used to say, look, here's a load of stuff. Can you do that? That job is now, and that person's now freed up to put the polish on and things like that. So I think absolutely. I think certainly with what you guys do, I think it could half your time in people hours. And it's never about, to me, it's never about replacing jobs. People always worry, oh, AI is going to take my job. It doesn't. What it does is it gives the people who are skilled the free time to actually use their skill on the things that are important and stuff. So
so many people don't know what it is, or they haven't even touched it.
Absolutely.
So I think for them coming into it now, they must be like, wow. Because I used to sort of talk about it. Nobody knew what ChatGPT was. But now people that I suppose aren't in a profession that even need to use AI, even they still know about it.
I mean, you can just have it on your phone now and stuff. I don't think people use it. I think people are using, I think the average guy who doesn't know what it is using it like Siri. They might just ask it a quick question. They might just ask it a thing. It's not until you realize that actually it's your best admin business process person that can actually plan stuff. You give it a load of raw data and just say, look, I need to know something in here and that. And you're absolutely right. People didn't know. And when I look at the algorithms, all the content that I've put out recently, the top 5 posts are all the ones where we reference AI. So clearly people want to keep learning more about it. And there's this whole panic that AI. We're right at the start of something. This is no different than the web was when everyone said, oh, the web's going to do it. And then they said the next thing and the next thing. And, records are going to kill the music industry. iTunes is the worst thing. It's just progression. We've all got to hop on the boat and stuff. And you're using it, I'm using it and stuff. So you think it's AI. And I don't think I'm having a single conversation with a single person that's saying it's not AI. No one has been able to either articulate or even question that it's not AI.
I didn't know the signs to look out for people using AI. So I think your podcast that you did with Jamie was the long lines, hyphens.
The hyphens.
Obviously, that is so true. So
it's the hyphens.
It's deleting them.
And emojis. The emojis thing. Even now,
a lot of
I've told chat to stop using emojis. Continues to still love to put emojis whenever I do
like
something.
A bit of confetti, don't they?
They like a bit of confetti. They also, this is nothing on Americans. I love Americans. If they're, I love it. It's very American in some of it, sort of the way that it talks, and as very English people look at it and go, no, I can't. I couldn't possibly say it like that. No. Hey guys, totally stoked for this absolute major thing that we're launching. No, it's more, if you don't possibly mind, we might just be putting this out and stuff. So again, there's a lot to learn, and again, it just shows. But absolutely, it's a game changer.
I'm excited for it. I want to know more to be able to use it better. Because at the minute, I still think when I use it, people are judging me for using it.
They are, and they are judging you for using it, and they're judging you for using it because they don't know how to use it themselves. They're envious that you're using it and can use it with things, and that's just no different. People are judging you when you first went on LinkedIn. Just going on LinkedIn. Now everyone's going, oh, I wish I had been on LinkedIn 12 months ago, sort of thing. People by nature just judge, don't they? Everyone judges. No. In the back of my head there, I realized I said game changer, and I realized that was also, apologies, Jamie, for saying game changer there, just sort of thing. Okay. Do you know what? That was really fascinating. You sort of came in here and you sort of like, oh, I didn't have much to say. And actually, we've talked loads about everything. A couple of things we didn't cover were, EOS. What the heck is EOS? There's a book here that I know you guys cover. Is there anything in here that people should be looking out for? You know, what we got, what is an operating system? What are the foundational tools and things? Is this something that you guys have sort of taken quite to heart at EK?
I think this was introduced into EK about 18 months ago. It just helps businesses streamline their targets, I think, is where it is, or it makes everybody work to the same
process.
Is the way that I've been explained. So for us, we have a weekly meeting with the support team. We get to hear people's personal best and professional best, which is really nice, because obviously when you're working on your own, you don't really get to, you know, speak to everybody, but then it's a form, I suppose. It's a way of being all aligned.
Good operating model. But
we also then have a 90-day check-in. So get set rocks, I think, or targets. And then obviously you have so many days to complete. Okay.
Well, I'm going to look into it myself. It's something that Jules had mentioned. I'm certainly I've got the book now, so I need to read. So maybe we'll revert back and have a bit of a deep dive on EOS. I don't know if it's EOS or EOS. So I'm not quite sure. Right. I think that was all of the things I want. I always ask everyone for a buzzword. Game changer was one that was said, so you can't have that one. Is there a word that people say to you all the time and you just go,
alignment?
Right, okay.
I know that I shouldn't say that, because I suppose that is pretty much what EOS is all about.
No, but it's the word. It's the connotation. Yeah, fine.
I feel like it's a bit professional.
Take alignment. That's your one. I'm going to write a list. And I'm going to publish a book one day of all the things that make people ick. Okay. Alignment. Okay. That's a strange one, but okay, we can go with it. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. If events and marketing were a sport, what sport would they be?
Paintball.
Why? Why is that? Carnage. There you go. Love that. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Fun. It's so fun, but sometimes it doesn't all work out.
No. Good. Elevator pitch for EK for anyone who doesn't know what you guys do there. What do you do there?
So we're a multidisciplinary firm of surveyors and engineers. So we have a mixture of professionals that can help, whether it's license to alter, reinstatement cost assessments, project management, cost management, surveying, structural engineers, you know, we've got it. And obviously, if you need an event planner,
a multi-award winning event planner, you've got it.
We're a good team.
Definitely.
A nice place to work.
Yeah. No, it is. You guys, they're fantastic. Okay, so that's all about that. Thank you. Always good to talk to you. It's just nice, isn't it? It's just a nice conversation, and I think we've really covered some great stuff. I think there's some stuff that people will take from there. And again, it's around that management of people. You were always destined. And look, I guess if we took it that whole full circle, when we talked originally about you were always good at putting things together, getting things right, lists, all those things. You're doing that now with EK. Amazing, award winning. And then your future aspirations is there to do that and take that and make that a bigger thing. So even better. So
I couldn't have done it without you pushing me.
Well, thanks. Yeah. I'll clip that. I'll put that in a little clip and sort of do that. I think it's just me just whispering on at people because I've got no one else to talk to. But thank you. It's very kind. Thank you so much. Excellent. All of the things that we've talked about, all of the people that you've referenced and the links and the websites, put it in the show notes, and we'll share this around to the world. And hopefully it'll be useful to someone else. So thank you. Thanks very much.